I'm back, y'all. It's been a little few hours here. I stopped at the thrift store. I got me a bite to eat and I stopped at the thrift store. I didn't eat all my Culvers because I gotta get home. I gotta get my taxes filed and for midnight because we're on mountain time and I gotta do that before midnight Eastern time, I believe. So anyway, otherwise I wouldn't be in a I have more time, but do that. And then the other thing that I wanted to do, I may or may not get a chance to do that. I was trying to do something at my job regarding my job, but I can do it online at home, but it's getting a little late, so hopefully I'm gonna try to do it. It should not take me longer than preferably an hour. So trying to make it home so I can do that, and then but I'm gonna do my taxes first, and then I can do that. That should not take long because I have the form that I need, and I have the other for the job I work here, so I'm good now. I just hate rushing, but I sort of didn't have a choice this time because I had to get that form. And like I said, I could have very well easily filed it without it, but I was like, I don't want to chance that, and I don't want to end up owing because like I said, a lot of times we get in a hurry and we say, yeah, because I actually thought about it. Yeah, I contemplated it. I said I should just go ahead and file it and just forget about it. But then forget about the form. But I was like, nope, I'm gonna do the right thing and I'm gonna wait. And when she gave me that date, when I called and she gave me the date for today, I'm like, oh, that's right at the last minute. So anyway, and then I felt in my spirit when she scheduled me, because I was on hold. I had called that morning. I had got up and that's what the Lord is teaching me, patience. I had got up super early to call. I was calling who was I calling to get that form? Social Security. Yeah, Social Security, the national, the main number, national number, toll free number. And every time I would call y'all, it would be a long wait. And then it said they open at 7. Because I've been trying to do this since like maybe a month or so ago. And then I gave up sort of. And I was like, well, I'll just whatever. I'll make sure I can get it done before whatever. And so that's why I'm at the wire now, because whenever you call them, and I know it's because it's just so many people trying to call and stuff, but literally the wait would be so long. And said they closed at 7. I think it was 7 Eastern time, but by the time I would get off work at 4 something, it'd already be 6 there. And then you gotta wait, it's just a long wait. Your wait is approximately an hour. And then I missed a couple of calls where they say they're gonna call you back, put your number in. They called me back, I put my number in, they did call me back, for a return call, but I missed it. And I was like, oh man. And so I missed when they called me back. And so back to ground zero. So I said, okay, Lord, help me when I call. And he did. He helped me, y'all. That's why I say God answers all prayers, not just your small ones, the big. He answers even the teeny tiny prayers. He sees your heart. So I said, Lord, please let me get through that. I was talking about that day, and it was last week, whatever day it was, and I think it was last week. It may have been a week before. I think it was last week though. But anyway, no, it was the week before, because it wasn't last week. It was the week before, because I remember her saying you're gonna have to wait a week or so to get the form. Yeah, so it was the week before last. But y'all, I got up that morning because I said, okay, they open at 7. So I was like, that's 9 their time, and I'm sorry, I said 9 o'clock, it'll be 7 there, because I'm sorry, let me think, y'all. So they open at 7. So yeah, we're 2 hours behind. So I was trying to wait. Well, I can't even think what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to get the timeline right. But anyway, at any rate, I was trying to basically call them. I can't think, y'all, right now how I did the time, but anyway, just know Colorado is 2 hours behind. So we're on Mountain Time, they're on Eastern, so it's a 2 hour difference. So I had it where I could call them. I knew they would be open, but I was, like I said, I would always be lagging 2 hours behind. But I got up that particular morning and I said, I'm gonna talk to somebody today, and I did. I kept waiting and the fine little lady came on the line. I think I had to wait for I didn't have to wait long either too. I think I waited for I was on hold for maybe, it was probably an hour or so. But I got up early. I got up real early so I could, I said the early bird get the worm, and I did. It worked. So I said, thank you, Lord. And I did. I thanked him for allowing me to get through, because he knew I needed to do that. That I wasn't just doing something for play. I needed to get that. I needed to get scheduled for that, and it worked out. It did. Yeah. But y'all, that's bothering me. I'm trying to remember what time did I call them, because by the time I called them, it was and it was early too. It was early. It was like we're 2 hours behind. Okay, so that's right. Yeah. So it was like 9 o'clock with them, but it was like 7 here. That's right. That's what I was trying to think, y'all. So yeah, it's a 2 hour difference. So yeah, it was like 9 or 10 their time, and then yeah. But on my end, it was early for me, because that morning I got up, early, and the Lord worked it out where I was able to get that taken care of before I even started working. And I said, thank you, Jesus. So anyway, that's behind me now. I got that done. I won't have to deal with that ever again, because that was just a one-time thing. Like I said, I always file my taxes. By now, they've been filed and spent. But even my youngest son, he said, Mama said, you don't never wait. I said, it wasn't my choice. I said, it was not Mama's choice, but I'm not going, trying to hurry up and do stuff and get in an even bigger mess. So I said, I'll be patient and I'll wait. And the Lord is informing me, patience. He's saying, be patient with his timing for my life, for what he has for me and my children. And then he's wanting me to be patient with myself, and then be patient with others as well. So God is so good. He's so good to us. He's so good to us. He's so faithful when we are faithless. We down here just doing whatever, and we don't. A lot of times or of course all the time, we don't do nothing he tell us to do, and yet he still blesses us. He still has his holy hand on our life, keeping us. You say, wonder how come you still alive after you've been in so many. I know I have. I've been in so many car accidents. I've been, was in a real bad one after I graduated from high school, but God allowed me to live. And the only thing I had was a dislocated hip. That's the only thing I had from that. And of course my eye when I went through the windshield, but didn't, everything else was fine. I walked away. He allowed me to walk away. So it's nobody but God's holy hand. A lot of people say, well, I'm lucky. No, you're blessed. You're blessed. Call it how it is. You're blessed. You're better than blessed. He takes care of his children. So I thank him every day. I really do. I thank him for us being here in Colorado. I thank him for just sparing our life. All of us, we were, like I continue to say this. All of us should have died, because we were all sick. But the children they didn't get that sick from that. They got just minor stuff. But me and my late husband, it was hard for us. And I tell everybody, I don't wish that on my worst enemy, what we had to go through. And of course, he didn't survive his, but I felt like I wasn't going to survive mine, because That was a terrible sickness. You know, when you can't walk, and you know, you just weak. You weak. You like somebody just draining the energy out of you. And it was terrible. It was terrible. But God, I cried out. I said, Jesus, let me live. Let me live. And he did. He did, y'all. I'm still here. I got work to do. You do too. You do too. So, but yeah, I'm almost home, y'all. It's just I'm trying to make it back to the house. Like I said, I realized that when I come on this side of town, we live a little ways from we're sort of out, you know, from where I was, especially from where I was with Social Security office. That was 30 minutes out. But like I said, I like coming on this side of, you know, I need to get familiar with where we live, where we actually live. I've gone to some stores there, but I just really preference out this way. Because I'm, you know, one I'm familiar, and two, I just like it. But I need to expand my horizons, because when my youngest daughter, when she come home for her summer break, she's gonna make sure I expand my horizon. She'll make sure that, because we'll be going somewhere every weekend. Cause that young lady, she keep everybody going. Cause even when I had my car before it got repoed, we would go somewhere on Saturdays, even when we first moved here, and then, you know, a little after that. But, you know, some Saturdays I'd be like, you know, I'd be like, Mama gonna rest today. And, you know, that's when she was in high school. She's like, yeah, let's go here. Because she's always Googling and, you know, finding stores and stuff to go to, which is fine. I love it. But I know we'll be, me and my oldest daughter, she'll get us out the house, because me and her are homebodies, me and my oldest daughter. You know, as long as we got something good to eat and we watch YouTube or a good movie, we good. But my youngest daughter, she ain't satisfied with that. She like to go. She like to go. So I'm looking forward to that. She'll be here in the summer. So just doing a lot of stuff, y'all, that I've never had to do before. And of course, you know, we've been here since 2022, but I'm talking about, you know, it seems like every year or every summer is something, you know, or every year is something different than what it was the previous year, where I have to take care of something or do something. And it's just, you know, it's growth. That's what it is. But I know this is the year of restoration for me and my children. And we're going to reap what God, you know, we're going to reap the benefits of what God has for us. And but it's going to be in His perfect timing. It will be. So I'm just thankful. I really am. And for His grace and His mercy, because He's the one covering us all. You know, people think, like I said, people think that they're, you know, they doing it all by themselves, and they sadly mistaken. That's where everywhere I go, everywhere I be, I'm letting somebody know about Jesus. Some people, you know, I know they don't want to hear it, but I don't care. I don't care, because I'm like, I'm gonna let you know who I serve. It sure ain't man. But like I said, people, you just look on TV, people, they just all mixed up. Some people don't care. Some people don't, they're ignorant. They just don't know. So, but some people just don't care. You know, they in their own world, and they, you know, they literally in their own world. You know, this is why I go to work, I go home, I take care of my family, I work. That's what I'm here. No, you're here for more than that. You're here for more than that. But you know, and then like I said, I could tell when I even go into stores and stuff, people just looking straight ahead, which I get that. You know, they don't want to be bothered, they don't want to offend nobody. I get all of that, but you know, that's not a way to live. It's not a good way to be. You know, but do realize a lot of people don't know Jesus, and that's where I come in at. That's where a lot of people that know him come in at. We got work to do. And like I said, I keep saying this over and over. People, older people out here, and even just a few years older than me, at church, they talking about, I'm ready for the Lord to come back. We all are. Anybody who know him and want to be with him, we all want that. But we got work to do. It's not how it goes. It don't work like that. You don't get to die and just go because you want to go. Because you don't want to deal with, how the word. No, it don't work like that. You got work to do. We got work to do. Plenty soul. It's so many, and like I've shared before, that's just, to me, that's selfish. Because in a way it's a form of selfishness, because you saying I just want to be caught up with Jesus. I want to go with Jesus. Jesus had to endure some stuff. Why do we think we are exempt from what he had to go through? And I'm guilty of that too. We don't want to go through nothing hard. We don't want to go through nothing difficult. Let everything be easy. Let everything be smooth sailing. No, you gotta grow. That's how you gonna grow. But yeah, when I've said they've said the church we go to, older people have said that, and I'm like, I've actually told them. I said, nope, you got work to do. I said, nope, God got you here to do work. You gotta finish the work. He gonna finish it. He gonna allow you to finish it too. And I used to I actually ministered that to the man who, when I shared that testimony on here back in 2010, from 2010 to 2012, when I worked for the company in Tennessee, city outside of the city that we lived in, and I was telling him, his wife had passed away from an aneurysm, and he was just so down, and he was supposed to be a man of the cloth, and I was just encouraging him, and I said, that's just not how it works. And y'all, then I wasn't in my word. I wasn't fasting. I wasn't praying. But God put me in that job, that position, to encourage him and to keep him uplifted. And I wasn't being mean or anything, but I told him, he said, I just want to die. He said, I want to leave this world since she died. I said, nope. I said, you can't do that. I said, you'll die when it's time for you to die. I said, but it ain't your time yet. And it seemed like he cried even more when I said that. But I was like, nope. It seemed like some days he would be, he didn't want to hear nothing I had to say, because he knew I wasn't in agreement about him dying. I just want to be with her. And me and the dog, we miss her. I said, yes, I understand that. I said, and it's totally understandable. That was your wife. I said, but she's in a better place. And I said, you will see her again one day. I said, but until then, you have work to do. I said, God still wants you to live. You still got life to live. And he's like I said, I knew he didn't receive that, because he wanted me to say, he wasn't trying to take his life or nothing like that, but I'm talking about, he was just, so, oh me, oh my, I just want God, he's wanting God to take him. And I said, no, God it don't work like that. I ain't even in my word. I ain't even in my Bible, but I know he don't do that. But you can't go till it's your time. It's your time. We all got a begin date and we got an end date. We're born to die. We are born to die. But you can't die until it's your time. That's just how it is. But like I said, it was some days he would be very receptive of what I was sharing, and then other days like he didn't want to hear nothing I had to say, which was that's fair. That was fair. But I just I was telling the truth. And like like I said, the people that have shared that with me at this church we attend, you know, they saying that, and one of them in particular that said that to me, you know, I'm ready. He was telling me I'm not gonna speak that over his life. He's not sickly. He's just, you know, he a lot of times he'll say, you know, he have issues with his body or whatever. And I said, well, God is a healer. You know, I would speak life into him, but he's like probably in his maybe late 70s, I guess, maybe late 60s. I don't know, but he's a nice gentleman and everything. But he said it, and then it was a lady who said that to me there. And no, actually, thank you, Holy Spirit. Actually, it was 3 people that said that to me, because it was 2 men and a woman. And I can't remember what the woman said. I think I said it to her. I gave her my same response I always give, but I can't remember what she said. But the 2 men, the one of the men said the man that's been, you know, sometimes he gets sick. He was saying, yeah, I'm just ready to, you know, I just want to be with Jesus. I'm tired of living down here. And I said, no. I said, got a lot of souls to save. There's a lot of souls to be saved. So he didn't really say much after that. But it was another man that I said that to. He was I think he's slightly younger than that man. And he said to me, he said, I think he actually said it to me twice. And the second time, he said, oh, I said, you still here? You got work to do. He said,